It's a wet and chilly evening in Eagle Country. Gabe Ziegler-Harris and the East Peoria Raiders come to town looking to continue their resurgent season, while a senior-led and talented Dunlap team aims to defend home turf and stay in the Mid-Illini Conference race. And with that, welcome to Dunlap, everybody. Alongside Jonathan Michael, I'm Gavin Russell. And John, it's fall time. You got the pork chop in hand. It's wet, a little bit chilly this evening, but it's fall time football weather. We're loving it.
Well, Gavin, I tell you, this pork chop sandwich smells amazing. Fall is here in Central Illinois. Week 5 across the state for high school football. We have a great one tonight between the Dunlap Eagles and the East Peoria Raiders.
Sure do, and this is maybe not a game we looked at early in the season, expected to see on the Clutch Sports Media schedule, but East Peoria has been resurgent. Dunlap's gaining some momentum. I mean, this should be a pretty good game.
Yeah, how about East Peoria getting 2 wins earlier in the season, weeks 2 and 3 against Aurora, Central Catholic, and Limestone. They hadn't won a game since 2018. This is a big year for the Raiders. They have lots of confidence going into this one at 2-2.
Sure do, and sticking with the Raiders, they're led by none other than Gabe Ziegler-Harris, who has been phenomenal this year. He's firing on all cylinders.
Yeah, Ziegler-Harris has just been simply one of the best backs, if not the best back in the area. Had 10 touchdowns combined in weeks 2 and 3 in both their ways. He's going to be a huge key for an East Peoria victory tonight. I expect them to hand him the ball quite often.
He will get the ball a lot, but on the other side, the Dunlap Eagles, trying to defend home turf, they have a lot of seniors trying to do that, trying to pull out their 3rd win of the season.
Definitely, yeah. Dunlap has a ton of experience, a lot of it on both ends of the football, a lot of weapons offensively as well from Madden Burke at quarterback for the Eagles. One of them is Graham Glover, a first-team All-Mid-Illini pick from last year. He's put up some great numbers this year. I expect Burke to find Glover a lot, but with these rainy conditions, Gavin, we could see the Eagles keep it on the ground quite a bit here tonight.
It is wet and rainy, but we have some hot competition out here. Week 5 of IHSA football season ready to go, just about to kick off. We go live now. Dunlap in East Peoria in Eagle Country. Sports Media's coverage of IHSA football is live and ready to go just minutes from kickoff as the East Peoria Raiders travel to town to take on the Dunlap Eagles. Again, welcome into the booth, everybody. Gavin Russell alongside Jonathan Michael. Jonathan, the crowd is fired up. We had some rain showers earlier, but it looks like it's going to be a nice fall night for some good football.
Yeah, definitely, Gavin. I'm super excited to be here in Dunlap, one of the best venues in the Mid-Illini Conference. Should see a great game tonight between East Peoria team that's 2-2. A lot of people wouldn't think that they'd be at this point here by week 5. Dunlap 2-2 as well, but stands are pretty full here given the rain that we had earlier. It's cleared up now. The lights are bright here in Dunlap. A nice cool fall breeze in the air. It's time for football. I can't wait for this game to start.
It is going to be an exciting matchup. It's JFL night out here in Dunlap, so as you can see the tunnel right there, the varsity Eagles will be running out in a minute, but JFL players and cheerleaders joining them out on the field as well. The band playing, going to be some exciting stuff, but let's get to some keys for the game, John. Of course, both these teams need to do a couple specific things to get their game rolling. East Peoria, don't fall behind. What else do they have to do?
Yeah, definitely. They can't fall behind early. They got to keep putting up points the entire game. They also got to have a tenacious defense as well that's got to hang in for a full four quarters, and that's going to be tough to stop with. You got Braden Orr and Graham Glover, Madden Burke with the Dunlap offense. The Eagles have a very strong offense, but going back to the Eagles, for them, they want to keep it on the ground. I mean, they can throw the ball with Madden Burke, Graham Glover, Gabe Munoz as well, but really the ground game is where they thrive the most, so we want them to really focus on the ground tonight and also pack it in on defense because East Peoria has a great running back in Gabe Ziegler-Harris, who's been very tough to stop for opposing defense so far. Excited to see what he can do tonight, and the Dunlap defense is pretty strong, and excited to see what they have planned for Ziegler-Harris.
It's going to be exciting tonight, but let's give a shout out to our great crew real quick. We've got Josh Messenger at the controls. Again, I'm alongside Jonathan Michael, Paco Francisco Alonso on social media, camera, Ethan Carbone, and Latif, not Latif Love, it's going to be Thatcher Gillespie. Latif Love also joining us. Here come the Eagles, though. Again, just minutes from kickoff, and they are fired up. Head over to the student section. They are ready to go, and both of these teams, John, aiming for win number 3, so a little bit higher stakes than what we would have suspected coming into the season.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the East Peoria game, this game has Dunlap here in week 5, and it probably wasn't on a lot of people's radars, but 5 weeks later, here we are in Dunlap, one of the best games in the area tonight, and really excited to see the Raiders and the Eagles. You saw there the Eagles running through their inflatable eagle, one of, I think, the best pregame traditions in the Mid-Illini. Super excited for this game tonight. East Peoria looks like they will be receiving this opening kick. So Raiders we've seen a lot of Gabe Ziegler-Harris real early in this one. The East Peoria back has had a outstanding start to the season. Look at his numbers there. A 2-time PJ Star Athlete of the Week so far. Weeks 2 and 3 put up 419 yards combined and 10 touchdowns combined in both of those wins.
Yeah, he's had a terrific start to the season. He's got to do a lot here tonight to overcome the Eagles. The Eagles are ready to go. The Raiders are ready to go. The Raiders will receive the opening kickoff. About time for football in Dunlap. Sure to be a good one here tonight. Thanks for joining us on ClutchSportsIL.com. Don't want to miss a second of the action. If you do, check out our social media platforms. But you're here now, and we're ready for a kickoff. Here we go. The ball is away. It's going to be fielded deep. And it's going to be Joe Clark bringing it back. He'll get a modest gain on the return. Clark will put East Peoria in decent field position to start the game, but still a long field to go for the first drive on offense for the Raiders.
Yeah, definitely a tough field, a tough kickoff rather. Sorry, I couldn't get my words right there. A tough kickoff to field there, bouncing on the ground, but East Peoria will start the game about the 21, 23-yard line, let's call it, for Ziegler-Harris and the rest of the EP offense.
Expect a heavy dose of the run game tonight, John. 3 receivers for East Peoria in the first snap of the game. Kaufman takes the snap. He's going to give it over to Ziegler-Harris, running up the sideline, and he'll get a decent gain there on the first play. Getting aggressive, throwing it to Ziegler-Harris, not letting him run it.
Yeah, and a nice play call there from East Peoria. They anticipated that Dunlap was going to rush the box there, and they did. Quarterback Andrew Kaufman was able to get that out pretty quick, find Ziegler-Harris, and nice chunk of yardage there on first down.
Halfway to a first down, 2nd and 5. 3 receivers again. East Peoria does open it up in the air a little bit from time to time. Clark in motion. Here's the Ziegler-Harris. He's going to be met very quickly. Perhaps a gain of 1, but again, the Eagles ready for it right there.
And the Dunlap defensive line, that was Sam Morgan really getting in there and stopping Ziegler-Harris for a short game, which is not something you see very often given these last couple weeks. I'll bring up a 3rd and 3 for East Peoria. I would anticipate they would keep it on the ground here, but I would also look for a screen or a route in the flat for Ziegler-Harris.
Let's see what they do. 3rd and 3. Kaufman in the shotgun. Takes the snap. He's going to roll out with it. Trying to get towards a first down, but he's going to be sacked. Big play right there for the Eagles. That's going to be Sam Morgan in on the sack.
A big sack there for Dunlap, and Kaufman had his tight end, Tommy Flowers, open in the flat there. Just couldn't quite get him to it there on the run. That'll bring up a 4th and 6. Nice job for the Dunlap Eagles defense, holding strong, forcing a 3 and out.
Gabe Ziegler-Harris doing a little bit of everything. He's also the punter and kicker for East Peoria. He'll punt here. Sends this one way short. And this one's going to bounce out. It's going to give Dunlap amazing field position, to say the least.
Yeah, kind of a sky kick there. Went high up in the air, not very far. Dunlap will start this drive in plus territory as quarterback Madden Burke will take the field. Last week, Gavin, Burke was watched from the sidelines as freshman Johnny Bargan engineered a 41-0 win over Limestone. Burke missed the game in concussion protocol, but he is back, healthy, and ready to go. However, we can expect to see a little bit of Johnny Bargan tonight.
We should see a little bit of Johnny Bargan. That's what the coaching staff was telling us earlier this week, but Burke will start the game. Burke takes the snap. He's going to hand it off the middle here to Orr. Orr running quickly, and he's finally brought down right there by a Raider. Nate Nesbitt finally making the tackle, but a big gain on the first play from scrimmage on offense for the Eagles.
I like that patience there from Braden Orr. Kind of crashed in on him early in the run, but he was able to wait, find a hole, break a couple tackles as well, and find a nice gain of about 13 or 14 or so.
Good field position, even better now. Burke in the shotgun again, hands it back to Orr, but he's going to be met quickly this time. Perhaps a gain of a couple right there. It's going to be Cody Hinsman in on the stop for the Raiders.
Yeah, Hinsman, one of two seniors on this EP defensive line, along with Nathan Nesbitt. Hinsman had a fumble recovery in their game against Limestone. I'm really looking for a big game out of him and Nesbitt as well. A lot of importance is going to be on them to stop the Dunlap rushing attack tonight.
2nd and 10. Burke dropping back to pass. Plenty of time, wide open in the end zone. Dunlap, a long touchdown right there. 30-yard touchdown strike. Madden Burke to Graham Glover.
And Graham Glover, the Mid-Illini first-team all-conference pick, getting on the score sheet early in this one. Burke was patient in the pocket there, waited for Glover to find the seam, and he was wide open in the end zone. That's just how you draw it up, Gavin, and Dunlap strikes for a quick 6.
Very early on here. What a start for the Dunlap Eagles. They're going to attempt the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. 7-zip Dunlap.
28 left in the first quarter. Our score, Dunlap 7, East Peoria 0.
While we have a second, we're going to take a look at what to expect from East Peoria coming back out onto the field. But we're going to go to the Uftring scoring drive. No, we're not going. Getting all these signals. East Peoria is going to come back out onto the field. Apologies for that, John. A little mixed up right there, but East Peoria is going to come back onto the field trying to get some better field position. We're going to go to the Uftring scoring drive right now. Only 3 plays, 45 yards, and 45 seconds for the Eagles to get 6 plus the extra point. It's that scoring drive sponsored by Uftring. Here's the kickoff. Ziegler Harris takes the kick. Running on the far side. He has some room to run up towards midfield. Still going, and up to about, he's going to say they stepped out just shy of the 40-yard line. What a really nice return, though, and much better field position for the East Peoria Raiders.
No kidding, Gavin. About a difference of about 30 yards or so there from their first drive. Ziegler Harris, the most electric athlete on both sides of the ball, offense, defense, and special teams as well. Hit a great convoy of blockers there. And that's really why he was able to get such a good return. I saw Joe Clark throw out a nice block to give him an extra couple at the end as well. East Peoria in good field position here. We'll see what they can do with it.
2 receivers out this time for EP. Kaufman stays in the shotgun. Of course, Ziegler Harris in the backfield. In motion, Hinder. Here comes Ziegler Harris again. He's going to run, but again, stopped after just a few yards, and got to get him into some open space, John. The offensive line definitely has to start opening up some bigger holes.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, obviously this East Peoria offensive line, I think Dunlap has more size on their D-line as well. A couple seniors as well, and Sam Morgan, Gavin Ward, right up the middle for Dunlap. So right in the teeth of 2 experienced linemen there for Ziegler Harris. Expect to see him bounce it out to the outside and really showcase that speed that he just did on the kick return.
2nd and 7, gain of 3. Kaufman takes the snap, giving it back to Ziegler Harris, and again met very quickly. There was a whole swarm of Eagles coming in. Didn't see exactly who that was. Perhaps Morgan in on it again. Nonetheless, short gain brings up another 3rd down.
And that was Pierce Morrison on the stop there for Dunlap, the sophomore offensive linebacker. Morrison, they like to put him near the line of scrimmage, even though he is a linebacker by what the Dunlap roster says, he's had a couple sacks, couple tackles for loss this year, so he's just a sophomore. You expect big things out of him.
No running backs lined up. Will they pass here? Kaufman in the shotgun. Kaufman drops back. Time. Throws over the middle and almost intercepted right there. Threw it in front of his receiver and couldn't hook up right there. It's going to bring 4th down and 6, and looks like the Raiders might go 3 and out again.
Yeah, dangerous ball there thrown from Kaufman, the junior quarterback. He was looking for his wideout, Jaden Seeley. The Eagle secondary was able to get a hand on that, but I sure they would have rather taken the incompletion there, set up a 4th down. Although if Dunlap can force a stop, it would be about the same as the interception anyway, so.
Very true, but they're going to go for it here. 4th down and 6. Staying aggressive early are the East Peoria Raiders. And it looks like Dustin Jefferson is going to take a timeout. Maybe a little miscommunication there on the Raiders sideline. Didn't exactly have all their ducks in a row right there. Jefferson quickly hustling over to the referee to call a timeout. Probably a good idea to get everybody on the same page before a critical 4th and 6.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, this is a big play for East Peoria. You're already down 7-0. You have a good chance to score here. Really, at 4th and 6, it's with their offense, it's kind of hard to decide. You know, you're going to hand off to Ziegler Harris, let your back work his magic, or you're going to try and throw the ball, even though you almost threw an interception on the last play. But nevertheless, Justin Jefferson and the Raiders, it's a big play for them early on. I wouldn't say the game exactly hinges on it, but one of our keys to the game, East Peoria, they can't go down early, and a 4th down conversion here would go a long way in preventing that from happening.
4 wideouts, one of them Gabe Ziegler Harris, jack of all trades. Kaufman in the shotgun. Takes the snap, drops back. Throwing, but it is deflected, and it'll be incomplete. 3 and out, and the Raiders churn it over on downs. Eagles get the ball back.
And again, that was Pierce Morrison and Sam Morgan. We've called their names quite a bit already in this game, Gavin. They got a hand up in there and swatted that pass away. It only went a couple yards in the air. And just as a quarterback, you never really expect those D linemen to, throw their hands up in the air like that. But nice discipline and technique there by the Dunlap D line. They're rolling to start this one.
Eagles take over, 1st and 10, and another timeout here by Jefferson. And I noticed, at least to me, saw that the Raiders weren't quite lined up defensively. There was an unguarded wide receiver there for Dunlap. So again, Jefferson looking to switch things up. Let's go to an ad break here, though. Today's game is always sponsored by local State Farm agent Jake Weston. You can give Jake a call at 309-444-4441 or at jakewestoninsurance.com. And, of course, our other good neighbors in the Peoria area, all of our other State Farm agents, Jody Brown and Zach Butler. Make sure to give them a call or check out their website for all your insurance needs. Back out here, though, the Eagles looking to do some big things, and they've got the momentum early on. The student section is fired up, and again, East Peoria a little off balance so far, John.
Yeah, a little bit, and it's always tough to come into an opponent who's been pretty strong the last couple of years, come into their home field and really establish momentum right away. But if they can hang around, I think that's really how East Peoria can, possibly come away with a victory in this game. But it's all about how it is stopped. Their quarterback, Madden Burke.
Screen pass right there, but it is dropped, and for good thing he dropped it. He was going to get dropped for a loss. That was Joe Clark coming in on the coverage.
Yeah, Gabe Munoz, the Dunlap wideout, was about to get lit up there by cornerback Joe Clark, so probably wouldn't have been going for much gain anyway. I mean, obviously you get another completion in the stat book if you're Madden Burke, but Eagles will face a 2nd and 10 here.
Joe Clark, a returning starter, just a sophomore. Burke with Orr next to him. He's going to take the snap. They're going to pass again. Looking to fire downfield. He's going to take off on his own. Room to run to the 40. Down to the 30. And he's going to go out at the 25-yard line. A broken play. Burke showing off the wheels and in near the red zone.
A 48-yard scamper, mark it up for Madden Burke. We talk about his ability as a passer, but he can really run the football as well. Did that a lot against Pekin in week 3 and takes off there, just found an open spot in the defense. In East Peoria, they always, got to keep an eye on him out of the pocket, maybe put a contain or a spy on him to prevent those big plays happening.
Lots in the backfield going on. They're going to hand it off to Orr again. He'll get a modest gain there on first down. Around 4 yards, I would say, the carry. Second down. Early into this game. But it's going to be a false start. Did not see the flag come out there, John. Little laundry on the field, and that's something we haven't really talked about, but Dunlap has struggled at times this year with the penalties.
Yeah, the penalties really hurt Dunlap against Pekin, and they were right there in that game, but a lot of false start penalties on the Eagles. Saw it again there. It's something that, it's kind of an anomaly for an offensive line that is pretty experienced. However, as long as they can, keep it clean, not have any false starts, this is a really strong O-line for the Dunlap Eagles.
The first and long now after the penalty. They're going to give it back to Orr. Orr sheds 2 tackles, still on his feet, and he will scamper forward back to the original line of scrimmage or somewhere around there. Second and 10. It's a gain of 5 and a decent pickup there for Orr. Broke a couple of tackles. Dustin Jefferson's going to want his guys to be bringing him down on the first try.
Yeah, and with young football teams, Gavin, tackling is always a big issue. I mean, obviously with, the young teams, a 15-year-old or a 16-year-old isn't quite as big as a 17 or 18-year-old. However, they've had a couple good tackles so far. We'll see if they can get that going.
Out to the outside. Here's Orr. He's taken off to the 10, the 5. Is he in for the touchdown? In. Braden Orr. Touchdown, Eagles. Thought he might have been a little short, but just enough on the lunge. And the Eagles add 6 more.
And Braden Orr, another guy to keep an eye on in this Dunlap backfield. Saw Graham Glover, and the other guy to keep an eye on was Orr. Found some space there on the left side. Nice blocks from the left side of the line. Diego Pantoa and Sam Morgan. This one will be coming back. Another penalty on the Eagles, Gavin. Something to watch out for.
That's 2 penalties right there on this drive that have set them back, and it negates the touchdown run. It's a block in the back. Again, I'm not seeing the yellow flags come out, but they certainly are. Second down and now 16, so wipe out the touchdown run. Now it's going to be second and long for the Eagles. Raiders catch a break.
A big one there for East Peoria. This is where you really have to capitalize.
Burke hands it back to Orr. Orr moving forward. A whole pile dragging him, and he'll get another nice gain right there. Give him about 7 or 8 on the carry, so it's going to bring up a third and still long. This is a big opportunity. Of course, East Peoria getting a bit of a second chance after the penalty. Always think about the Lovey Smith defense. Bend, don't break.
Definitely, that's really what it's all about right now for East Peoria. If they can force a 4th down, I don't expect Dunlap would definitely not punt it. I don't know if they would kick a field goal here. They might as well just go for it, so this could be 4-down territory, Gavin.
Here's Burke, 3rd and 9, low snap. He's going to roll out the pass, throws it, hooks up with his receiver, and that should be more than enough for a first down, and it will be. Nice job right there, and Burke showing he's having no problem passing the ball after missing last week.
Yeah, really not missing any steps is Madden Burke. He hooks up there with Gabe Munoz for a nice gain down to the 11-yard line. And Munoz isn't the only wide receiver. Obviously, Glover, who had the opening touchdown for Dunlap. And then you have also Ryan Dietz as well, who's caught a couple of nice balls this year and a touchdown as well. So Dunlap has 3 wide receivers that can really make an impact. It's a luxury to have in the Mid-Illini Conference.
Gives it back to Orr. Orr, a huge hole, and he'll be in for the touchdown. It got called back a few plays ago, but Braden Orr still manages to find the end zone for 6.
And a redemption for the Dunlap senior running back. It's his 4th touchdown of the season. Just went right up the gut, and East Peoria, it's going to be tough for them to find an answer. Defending between the tackles there, Dunlap is kind of really showing them what they're made of. A nice drive there, just get another 6 on the board.
And we're going to have a flag before the extra point attempt. I believe it's going to be offsides on the Raiders special teams. They will move a little bit closer now, but it looks like Dunlap on the penalty is going to switch things up, and they're going to go for 2. They'll bring Orr back onto the field, Madden Burke. Chance to tack on a couple more points. East Peoria, they're a team that rides momentum. They're a young team, a lot of freshmen and sophomores playing, so you expect some of those growing pains. Got to find some momentum in this game.
Yeah, definitely, and they had a lot of momentum in weeks 2 and 3. It's a big factor in their win against Limestone, but you know, you can't just give up after 2 weeks. You got to keep bringing it each week. Not saying that they aren't, but it's really schedule really gets a lot harder for East Peoria as the Eagles convert on the 2-point conversion.
They do convert, and it'll be 15-0 Dunlap, a little over halfway through the first frame. Dunlap firing on all cylinders so far. Let's go to our Uftring scoring drive. It's going to be 8 plays, 65 yards over a course of 3 minutes and 21 seconds. That scoring drive for the Eagles, sponsored by Uftring. And also sponsored by Jake Weston State Farm. Your good neighbor in Washington. Call Jake Weston 309-444-4441 or at jakewestinsurance.com. And our other good neighbors in the Peoria area, Jody Brown and Zach Butler State Farm. Give them a call for all your insurance need. Visit their website or give them a call. We appreciate Uftring and State Farm's support of high school athletics and Clutch Sports Media. Eagles set to kick it off. Raiders looking to find some momentum. 15 zip early on. Eagles ready to go, and they will kick it deep. Fielded again, but it is muffed. Recovered by Clark. Clark finds a little bit of room to run, but is shut down quickly, and he'll get up just past the 30-yard line. Got to think, although there's no rain coming down at the moment, the field's got to still be pretty wet, John.
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's a turf field here at Dunlap. I mean, you look at the bleachers, most of them are pretty dry, although it's still a little precipitation on the ground, so it's going to be still pretty tough to get a nice hold on the football and also for your cleats to get a nice dig into the turf there and get some traction and everything. Something to keep an eye on. There could be more rain in the forecast tonight, but for the moment, it's just clear skies and a cool wind here at Dunlap.
Sure is. East Peoria needing to make something happen. Kaufman in motion. Kaufman takes the snap. Here's Ziegler Harris trying to make a couple men miss, but going nowhere. He'll be tackled for a small loss. Again, not really getting many big plays so far. Got to give a lot of credit to that Dunlap defensive line.
Yeah, and for Dunlap, really they're really scouting on Gabe Ziegler Harris a lot this week. I mean, Ziegler Harris has been a large portion of the East Peoria offense, and when he's playing well, and maybe opponents are maybe overlooking him, it's easier for him to have a big game. But Dunlap, they're a strong defensive team year in and year out, and they came ready for Ziegler Harris at least so far tonight.
Handed off to him again. Wrapped up quickly though. Thought he may have had a little bit of space to run, but again, really solid tackling by Dunlap. They're not allowing him to get any extra yardage, and it's going to bring up third and still very long.
And head coach Brett Caslett is definitely loving to see that. As soon as they're touching the ball carrier, they're bringing him down. Not a lot of broken tackles so far from East Peoria. Big third down here. I would expect him to maybe air it out, although it could hand off to Harris, get a first down with that, or set themselves up for a 4th and short.
Kaufman, 3rd and 11, the Raiders. And we're going to have a flag. Seen some early laundry on the field, John. See what the call is from the official. And it's going to be offsides on the Eagles, so it's going to give the Raiders a little bit of breathing room. Makes it a bit ethere. You feel like you have to capitalize on a 3rd and 6 after the penalty.
Yeah, it makes it a lot easier, Gavin. I mean, it was 3rd and 12. Maybe there was a misspotting, so I really doubt the false start would have been a 6-yard penalty rather than its normal 5, but this really changes the game for East Peoria. They really expect them to have 2 downs to work with here. The playbook is wide open for Dustin Jefferson.
See what he goes to. 3rd and 6. Kaufman takes the snap. He's going to drop back to pass. Not much time, and he throws it. There's nobody home. Looking for Henry Kaufman, but hadn't completed the route yet, and that's, again, large part Dunlap pressure from the defensive line.
Yeah, and the Raiders, they had 2 tight ends in their backfield ready to pick up the Dunlap rush, but they still were able to get a good rush under. A little bit of miscommunication there between Kaufman and the other Kaufman, I should say, Andrew, the quarterback, Henry, the tight end. And it looks like East Peoria will punt it away with Ziegler-Harris.
See if they can put a little better punt out this time. Here's Ziegler-Harris, plenty of time, and he'll get off a decent punt right there. Fair catch, and he'll fall on his knees at the 40-yard line. So not a terrible punt, but East Peoria still without a first down in this game, nearing towards the end of the first quarter, 2:29 left to go. John, what's it going to take for East Peoria maybe defensively to start to get some momentum?
I think you really just have to just really crash in on the box. Don't let Braden Orr hurt you. Force him to throw the ball early a little bit. Maybe you can get an interception there. Madden Burke is a great quarterback in his own right, but he did throw a couple balls to the opposition against Pekin, so he's looked really good tonight. Really been impressed with Burke, who had a big touchdown earlier.
Burke looking for a screen pass. It's caught, and he'll get some big yardage. He's still moving, still up the field, can't be brought down, and finally brought down. Graham Glover, another big reception right there. He's one of Dunlap's top receivers, showing why. Turns on the Jets and in near the end zone.
Yeah, Glover was the first team All-Mid-Illini Conference pick last year, leading the team as many would expect in his senior year. 11 catches, 182 yards, and 3 scores. Nice job there breaking the tackle, and that's something that Dunlap has done on their defensive end. East Peoria struggling with broken tackles a little bit. I think that's really been one of the biggest differences so far in the first 10 minutes, Gavin.
1st and 10, nearing the red zone. Back to Orr. Orr breaks a couple more tackles and can't be brought down. Finally forced out of bounds, but again, broken tackle after broken tackle, and we don't have official stats, John, but you got to think that the number of tackles he shed already in this game is pretty high.
Yeah, definitely, and the Raiders had a chance to take him down at the 20-yard line. Instead, he gets an extra chunk of about 8 or so. So the Eagles have a golden opportunity to go up 3 scores while still in the first quarter here in Dunlap. Really complete effort on both sides of the ball for head coach Brett Caslett's squad.
Burke feeling confident, 12 yards out from the end zone, hands it back to Orr. Orr wrapped up after getting a few yards. A comparably much smaller gain right there, but still moves them far closer to the end zone. See where they spot the ball at. 6 yards, rather a gain of 4 right there. 9 yards to go to the end zone.
2nd and 6 here. Again, the playbook is pretty open for Dunlap, although it is always harder on offense when you're in the red zone because the defense has less of the field to defend. So it's not always as easy as you may think it is.
Here's Burke, hands it back to Orr. Orr swallowed up just short of the first down marker, 3rd down. And although the odds are stacked against them, this is, again, another chance for East Peoria to make a big stand, see if they can keep them out of the end zone.
Yeah, and that's kind of another key that I think is becoming apparent tonight for East Peoria is to force Dunlap into 3rd downs because we've seen the Eagles get a lot of them, really not been in hardly any of these 3rd down situations so far tonight. 3rd and 2, a stop would be massive for this Raider D.
4 on the D line for the Raiders. Give it back to Orr. Finds a gap, finds a seam, and he'll find the end zone. Touchdown, Dunlap.
And credit that one to the offensive line there. How about the blocking from center Logan Barlow, right guard Brody Harrison, and then Orr just kind of put his hand on the back and said, hey, I'm going to push you where I want you to go, pave me the way, and lead me to 6. They did just that, and Dunlap goes up by 3 scores in the first frame.
Big start for the Eagles. They'll attempt the extra point. And we're going to have a flag here. Going to guess another offsides. Jumping across the line was Jose Del Toro of East Peoria. See if the Eagles elect to try for 2 again, and they will. 2 extra point attempts. Raiders pick up a penalty, now give the Eagles a chance for 2.
And second time we've seen that tonight. Dunlap could go up 23-0 here. Your offense has been performing at the level that they have tonight. You might as well, Gavin.
Eagles trying to just continue to put up some big numbers. 9 seconds left to go in the first frame, and Dunlap already up 3 scores. Here's Burke. Takes the snap, hands it to Orr. Orr is stopped short. That's the first really negative run we've seen from Braden Orr. So if nothing else, East Peoria stops the 2-point conversion. Dunlap, though, still up 21-zip.
Yeah, great stop there for East Peoria. I mean, even though you still give up the touchdown, you prevent the 2 points. So you got to chalk that up as a small win. And you'll eventually just keep building on those, and eventually maybe you'll get some big plays to really serve EP well later in the game.
Let's go to our Uftring scoring drive. Another one for the Dunlap Eagles. 5 plays, 60 yards in 2 minutes and 20 seconds. Using some big plays again to score. Sponsored by Uftring. 9 seconds left. Probably enough time for East Peoria to field the kickoff. Maybe 1 play. Another big kick return might be enough to spark their offense. We will see, though. Ziegler Harris and Joe Clark deep to receive for the Raiders. It's going to be a bit of a squib kick here, muffed by one of the upmen. Clark is going to take it. He's going to get a block, cuts to the inside, and gets a bit of a decent return. Nothing major, though. 1.7 seconds, so East Peoria will get a chance to run 1 play here before the end of the quarter.
An overall decent starting field position for the Raiders. They're still looking for their first down of the game if you're just tuning in. It's been all Dunlap so far defending their home field in this matchup of 2-2 teams.
East Peoria starting at the 32, needing to just get a first down, get something going here. Not much to show for in the early going. Senior star Gabe Ziegler Harris been pretty much bottled up by the tough Dunlap defense. Kaufman takes a snap. He's going to drop back to pass. Throws. Is it complete? Did he hang on to it? He did. So they do get a catch, and they'll get a few yards right at the end of the first quarter. And that's where we will finish the first frame. 21-0 Dunlap. What a big first quarter for the Dunlap Eagles.
In stock 22s, inbound 23s, fresh trade-ins. Score the upgrade you've always wanted during the total sales blitz at every Uftring Auto Group dealer. New inventory is in stock and inbound, and we're taking custom orders every day. UftingAutoGroup.com.
That was our Uftring. Thanks for Uftring sponsoring Clutch Sports Media tonight. Appreciate their support. Make sure to check out Uftring Auto Mall around the area. Into the second frame, though, John. East Peoria with the ball. They had a positive yardage right there on a short completion. But again, that Dunlap defensive line has just been stout tonight. I didn't quite catch the number on it for the Eagles on the pass rush. Just bowled over Cody Hinsman, not allowing much time for Andrew Kaufman. Barely got the pass off.
Gavin, again, I didn't see exactly who it was either. A lot of bodies there on the line, but I would assume it's been Sam Morgan, the senior defensive tackle, who's had a heck of a football game tonight. Morgan, the 3-year starter on the offensive line, plays defense as well. He's had a good number of tackles so far this year and a sack to go with his name as well. I got to think that his stats are going to go up quite a bit after this one. He's been a force on the D-line.
2nd and 7. Here's Kaufman's going to hand it off to Ziegler Harris, running to the outside, some room to run. There is a flag. This one probably will be coming back. Going to tag him with a hold is what I'm going to guess. We will allow the officials to relay properly, and it is a hold, so it's going to go backwards. And East Peoria, whenever they do something good, it's just kind of shooting themselves in the foot, this time with a penalty.
Yeah, although they did get flagged for the call, I do like that play call there with getting Gabe Ziegler Harris who's just an electric athlete to the outside. I think that's where he's got to do most of his damage tonight against a stout box of 7 defenders for Dunlap. I'll bring up second and it looks like about 19 or actually about 21, all on the 21-yard line, and they need to get to the 42.
A lot of room to go here for the Raiders. See if they can pull off a big chunk play. They're going to drop back to pass. No time at all. Hits him in the back, hits his own lineman, and nearly intercepted there by the Eagles. Just another broken play, and East Peoria is just all out of sorts so far early on.
Yeah, and how about Sam Morgan, pretty much a naked rush to the quarterback there. He was unblocked, came in there with his arms up and everything. Kaufman, credit him, was able to get rid of the ball, but it hit his left tackle, Connor Leachite, in the back. He didn't even know what was going on.
And I believe it was a bit of a screen pass there, if I'm not mistaken.
That's what it looked like initially, but for East Peoria, they're lucky that they were able to hold on possession there because an Eagle almost picked that ball off after it bounced off of Leachite.
Here's Kaufman, 3rd and long, throwing, and boy, another hefty pass rush there from the Eagles. Drew Stone coming in off the edge, making life difficult.
Yeah, Stone, the second leading tackler on the team, coming into this one with 10.5 to his name. He's been having a good game as well. And Kaufman, he's trying to get the ball down the field and get some big plays, but it's hard when you got a whole nest of Eagles bearing down on you every other play.
A whole nest of Eagles indeed. Gabe Ziegler-Harris going to have to punt. Nothing to show for offensively so far. He'll send a pretty good punt down there. It's going to bounce just over midfield and down to about the 45-yard line for the Eagles to take back over offensively. Dunlap, another big opportunity right here. Let's take a look at the Mid-Illini standings, and boy, it is a logjam so far in the middle of the conference. Dunlap looking to break the seal with a win and stay in the conference race.
Yeah, I see there Dunlap and East Peoria both at 1-1 in the Mid-Illini, 2-2 overall. You got Morton and Metamora accompanying them as well. Washington, they're 1-3, but they've played a very tough schedule. I fully expect the Panthers to be in contention for a playoff spot. You got Canton and Limestone down there at the bottom, but Pekin, how about the Dragons? Very complete team on both sides of the ball.
Here's Burke. He's going to air it out, going deep, and he hooks up with his receiver. Ryan Dietz, another big reception and torches the East Peoria secondary. The passing game firing on all cylinders for the Eagles.
My Madden Burke has a heck of an arm, Gavin. Like I said, he has not missed a beat after suffering a concussion against Pekin in week 3. Dietz, the big play threat for Dunlap at wide receiver, continues to show it there.
Another big play for the Eagles. That's how they've fueled most of their drives so far. Burke in the shotgun again. Hands it back off to Orr. Finds a little room to run. There is a flag, though. I'm going to say it's a block in the back. So this one will probably be coming backwards. It's going to be a hold. Similar. Not quite the same, John, but still moving backwards. Not what you want if you're Brett Caslett.
No, definitely not. And that's, by my count, that's the 4th Eagles penalty tonight. And after the big play there, you don't want to move backwards and take away what you just got. However, Dunlap's still in good field position, though, putting a nice drive together. They've been able to move the ball in a variety of ways tonight and a variety of looks as well. You've seen them, kind of in a an I formation as well. A couple 2 receiver sets, a couple 3 receiver sets. The playbook has been wide open for Brett Caslett and the Eagles.
Raiders need a stop, need a spark. Eagles, Burke gives it to Orr, and he'll be met quickly. The first decent defensive play of the game for East Peoria. That was a nice job right there. Josh Knight coming in on the stop. Josh Knight, a returning senior linebacker, although he has been moved to safety this week, but maybe back in his linebacker spot right there. Dustin Jefferson turning the defense all upside down, trying to find something that'll work.
Yeah, Tommy Flowers, the linebacker, also got in on the stop there, but Knight's a player who I've been really wanting to see tonight. No pun intended there, but in his new position at strong safety.
Here's Orr again, makes a couple men miss, breaks another tackle, nearing the first down marker and thrown out of bounds by Josh Knight. He's not going to have quite enough for the first down, but a huge chunk of yardage, and good blocking there from Dunlap. It's going to be 3rd and short.
Yeah, that was on Gore violence there. Briston Gore, the junior DB for East Peoria, trying to bring down the senior tailback for Dunlap, Braden Orr. Just too strong there. Nice stiff arm. And able to get an extra couple yards there.
See what Dunlap does here on 3rd and 3. He's going to drop back to pass. Steps up. Throws it into the flat, and it is caught. It's going to be 13 for Dunlap. Logan Mason on the reception, and it'll be another first down.
That's the first time we've called Mason the tight end's name tonight. And Johnny Bargan, how about that? The quarterback freshman quarterback, I should say, for Dunlap, getting his first taste of the game tonight. Brett Calzlet said that we could expect to see him in definitely some form. And he gets a chance to finish off this drive, put Dunlap up by 4 scores. Last week, Bargan tossed the ball for 9 completions on 14 attempts, 163 yards, and 3 touchdowns. So very impressive in his varsity debut.
Raiders go no safety, stack the line. They're going to give it back to Orr. Orr finding some space, and he'll be in for another Dunlap touchdown. Braden Orr has been just absolutely incredible tonight, showing off his skills. The senior adds 6 more for Dunlap.
Yeah, Braden Orr has just really gotten some great holes from his offensive line. Gets into the end zone, standing up yet again. How about his performance and the entire Dunlap Eagles offense? I mean, they're moving the ball a variety of ways down the field. Usually it's been Orr to finish it off, but real good all-around effort as the extra point is up and good for the Eagles.
Big drive for Dunlap, sparked by a big play to start things out. It was hooking up again with one of Dunlap's top receivers, Graham Glover, and a couple of big plays by Braden Orr. Even after some penalties, haven't heard him so far. Let's head to the Upstring scoring drive now, though. Although we will get that in a minute, but again, a big start to things for the Dunlap offense. 28-zip, 8:29 left to go in the second quarter. East Peoria looking to turn things around with another offensive drive right here. Let's go to the Upstring scoring drive now. 6 plays, 55 yards, over 2 minutes and 53 seconds. Another Dunlap score sponsored by Upstring. Today's game is also sponsored by Jake Weston State Farm. Give them a call at the number on your screen or at JakeWestonInsurance.com. And of course, we appreciate all of our sponsors, our State Farm sponsors around the area, our other good neighbors, Zach Butler and Jody Brown. Give them a call at the number on the screen or go visit the website. Fielded by the up man Hockenberry. And no return. 33-yard line is where the Raiders will start out their next drive in East Peoria without a first down in this game, I believe. I would say that's probably correct. Have not had a lot of good positive yardage. What's it going to take? What do they have to do differently?
Well, I think, Gabe Ziegler-Harris is a good enough athlete that he will definitely break away for some big plays. It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when with him. So I would say stay consistent with him. Maybe get some extra blocking, maybe a fullback, couple tight ends. Give Kaufman some more time to throw, and because he has some good-looking throws tonight, and maybe open up the air attack.
Here's Kaufman opening it up. He's going to go to Seeley, defended very closely, and it's going to hit the ground. A little more time right there. The Raiders' offensive line stepping up, but couldn't hook up with Jaden Seeley.
Yeah, not a bad ball there from Andrew Kaufman. He was looking for Seeley. Physical play by Gabe Munoz. Could have maybe called a flag there if you were calling it tight, but I think they're both just going up for the ball. Nice physical play by both parties. Falls incomplete, and that'll be 2nd and 10 for the Raider offense.
Raiders trying to do something to spark it. 3 receivers again. Kaufman in the shotgun. 4 rushing for Dunlap. Kaufman takes the snap, Gives it to Ziegler Harris, running to the outside, being chased by some Eagles and brought down quickly. Another big stop right there. That's Ryan Dietz. Came in and solid tackling from Dunlap.
Yeah, Dietz, the nickelback, who went low there to get Ziegler Harris down to the turf. That's the best place to tackle. If you are a defender, that'll get him down pretty much every time. And great tackling by Dunlap tonight. You know, after that game against Pekin, they looked really good against Limestone. They're looking really good here again tonight. But notice on that play, Gavin, real quick, I wanted to say that no Dunlap defender was more than 7 yards past the line of scrimmage. They are daring East Peoria to throw the football as much as they can.
No running back, so it looks like East Peoria will try to open it up in the air. They will, dropping back. Kaufman rolling out, throws it to the flat and can't quite get it on the run. Looks a little confused, and a penalty flag comes in late. Gabe Ziegler Harris looks a little dejected.
And not sure what this call could be on there. Kaufman was looking for Seeley, his wideout. This will be a personal foul against Dunlap. That'll give East Peoria in what we believe to be their first down of the game, albeit by penalty, but they'll still take it. Dunlap, another self-inflicted wound. There's only one thing that they could do better tonight is probably cut down on the flags.
Certainly can cut down on the flags. I thought that was going to be on East Peoria, the way that the Raiders bench and players were acting, but in fact, it'll give them a fresh set of downs just shy of midfield. Can the Raiders find some life? Kaufman takes a snap, hands it to Ziegler Harris. Running to the outside, makes a couple men miss, makes a couple more miss. There's some good yardage for Gabe Ziegler Harris. Give him a gain about 8 on the play.
And that's more like it for East Peoria. That's what they want to see. Nice job there by Ziegler Harris. Again, stretching out to the sidelines, staying away from Dunlap's front seven. Made a man miss there. That was Munoz who went for his leg. Ziegler Harris evaded him. Got a good chunk there. 2nd and 3. You gotta like this for East Peoria, rather.
A little outsides at the guard position. Ziegler Harris will have to look to the outside for some runs. 2nd and short. Oh, pitches it out. Fumbled by Ziegler Harris and just jumps on top of it. And it'll be going way back. A little bit mishandled there. Another self-inflicted wound. And again, perhaps that ball's still very slippery, tough to handle.
Yeah, and toss plays, you know, there's always the small, small possibility that it could be a unclean, transfer of the football there, but Ziegler Harris couldn't quite hang on to it. Thankfully, he did fall on it, so East Peoria will retain possession, but 3rd and 14, not a situation you want to be in. They're still looking for their big play of the game, and they could really use it right here.
Certainly could, John. 3rd and 14. Need to tear off a big chunk here. Here's Kaufman. He's going to pass. He fumbles it. Can't quite get it back. The ball is still loose. Still fumbled around. Who's going to get it? The ball is everywhere. Nobody can hang on to it, and it is Dunlap football.
Well, Gavin, I think we answered the question of is the ball wet? The short answer is it is. We saw 3 or 4 people try and grab that ball. A couple of people from East Peoria almost had it. Dunlap almost had it. Eventually, someone fell on the football. I don't even know who it was because the ball was changing hands so much, but big play there for Dunlap. Right when it seemed like East Peoria was maybe about to get something going, Dunlap takes it right back. 25 yards away from the end zone. A huge momentum shift there.
Big momentum shift, and again, just a tough play with the elements right there. East Peoria trying to turn the tide, but nothing going on. Dunlap in full control. Takes the snap. It's Burke back under center. Taking a shot to the end zone. He hits his man. Touchdown Eagles. Graham Glover on another touchdown reception, his 2nd of the night. And Dunlap up by a large amount now midway through the 2nd quarter.
Gavin, it's a clear night out here in Dunlap, and the stars are out to shine. Braden Orr, Graham Glover, Madden Burke, the usual suspects, getting work done. Beautiful ball there from Burke, lofts it up there. It's like watching poetry in motion, and Dunlap, another huge score.
Kick is up and it is good. 35-zip. Dunlap in total control, taking big plays, taking plenty of momentum, and not much going on for East Peoria. So far, it just took them one play. Another big pass right there. Man, nothing else to say but just amazed at the Dunlap offense.
Yeah, and, Dunlap, a team that, maybe some people feel like, and they themselves probably feel like, they don't get enough respect in the Mid-Illini Conference. But after, the big win last week and they're showing here tonight, a lot of people are going to say that Dunlap, well, they're a contender for the Mid-Illini title this year after this showing tonight.
Let's go to the Uftring scoring drive now. One play, 25 yards, and a touchdown. Definitely a big-time strike there. And, boy, Graham Glover has been all over for Maddenburg, tonight. Here's fielded short. Ball is slippery, nearly fumbled, and Clark is just going to have to go down to hang on to it. And again, playing with fire right there. They know that ball is slippery. Got to try to protect the football at all costs.
Well, either the ball is slippery or the near side of the field is slippery. That was right in the same spot that Dunlap had just recovered the football. Evan Marmey, in the senior cornerback, almost got in and was able to swipe it away, but East Peoria was able to fall on it there. So, again, a small victory, but they're going to have to turn something around on this drive offensively.
Kaufman and Ziegler-Harris looking to make something happen. He's going to roll out, nowhere to go, and he is sacked right there. Pierce Morrison coming in, just a sophomore, but making big things happen.
Yeah, Morrison and Gavin Ward combining for the sack there. That is Morrison's third sack of the year. A lot to look forward to for the sophomore. He's going to be a great player to watch in the Mid-Illini Conference for years to come. And Gavin Ward, who other defensive tackle, maybe hasn't got as much of the spotlight as his counterpart Sam Morgan has, but he got right in there as well. And the Dunlap D-line is having a field day here tonight.
Kaufman passes again and mishandled right there, maybe a little bit high. Aiden Hindert, the intended target. Just a combination of factors there. At least they got the pass off that time, though, John.
Yeah, that was a good-looking pass and a good-looking route there. Pretty much had everything right except being able to bring it in a little high there for Hindert, the freshman wideout. But, again, I like that play call there. It's third and very long. East Peoria needs to get to the 34-yard line.
So almost certainly have to pass here. Four Eagles still rushing. Throws a bit of a screen pass and completely covered right there. And it's going to be fourth down. Again, just nothing going on for East Peoria. Incredibly frustrating for Dustin Jefferson's squad.
Yeah, Kaufman was looking for Ziegler-Harris on the screen there. Again, a good play call, but Graham Glover, who standout wide receiver, but also a very good free safety as well, got right in there, almost picked the ball off. And we'll see Ziegler-Harris back to punt for the fifth time tonight.
Decent punt right here. Oh, it's going to bounce. And it's going to be down to, again, a decent punt right there. Pushes them way back onto the opposite side of the field.
Yeah, great punt there from Ziegler-Harris. Took a nice bounce there, and Dunlap will start the ball at the 33. So about a 51-yard punt or so. So nice job flipping field position. Dunlap definitely has enough time to get the ball back, or they do have the ball back, but definitely enough time to get another score here before the intermission.
They're going to hand it off right here. Tackled quickly. That's going to be Mitchell Gray. Just 6 total rushes on the year, at least the stats that we are provided. He does have a touchdown, though. Gray, the senior, doesn't get a lot of touches, with Braden Oregon being a huge part to the Dunlap offense. Give Gray some reps here. He'll get a gain of about 3. Second and 7 for Dunlap. Hands it back off here. And tackled quickly, but momentum forward. Gets another big gain right there. Mitchell Gray back at it, and it'll be a Dunlap first down.
Yeah, Mitchell Gray, senior back, one of the primary backups to Braden Orr. He came into this one with 6 carries for 27 yards and a touchdown. So he's put up some decent numbers this year, and with Dunlap ahead by so much, maybe there's a chance that Dunlap's even thinking of putting in their backups, getting them some work. Mitchell Gray looking good so far, getting the first down for the Eagles.
Maiden Burke on the sideline, taking a breather. Give it to Johnny Bargan now. They're going to hand it off to, not Gray this time. We'll see who that is. We're going to get a flag on the play. And a big pile right there. Never brought him down. It's going to be 23 on the carry for the Eagles. Let's see who that is. It's going to be Drew Stone, getting a couple touches here in the backfield. See what the flag is on. And it's going to be an East Peoria penalty, a face mask, just for going from bad to worse. I feel like at this point for East Peoria, it's not even so much about damage control, it's just about trying to take some positives away.
Yeah, definitely a tough go for East Peoria. And Gavin, one thing I wanted to mention, it wasn't really related to the play, but that was perhaps the most aggressive flag toss I've ever seen from a referee. I mean, he took that thing out of his pocket and flung it on the field. I mean, that must have been pretty obvious to draw such a forceful throw there from the referee. Dunlap takes first and 10 from the 27.
Bargan hands it back off. Stone finding some space to run, and he's upended by Joe Clark. A good tackle, but it comes after another big gain, and we have an EP player down on the field. Gets up to a knee as they'll step up.
Gavin, I've liked what I've seen from Joe Clark tonight. I know there hasn't been a lot of positives for East Peoria, but the sophomore cornerback has played well, gotten in on a lot of tackles. Calls him a couple times on special teams as well. He, fell, he returned a couple kicks and everything. Plays on offense as well. So the sophomore, he could be one of those guys that could be the future for East Peoria. One of definitely their best performers tonight.
Certainly a lot of young players, but let's take a look at our sponsors for tonight's game. As always, State Farm agent Jake Weston. You can give him a call at 309-444-4441 or at his website, jakewestoninsurance.com, or the other agents in the area, your good neighbors in Peoria and in Pekin, Jody Brown and Zach Butler. Make sure to give all 3 of those great agents a call for all of your insurance needs. Going to help Aiden Hindert off the field, the freshman, and again, a lot of young players for the Raiders squad. Of course, some notable seniors, Gabe Ziegler-Harris being one, but it's all about the future for the Raiders. What can they build going forward? And they do have some good young players that have already showed some talent.
Definitely. One of those starts with their quarterback, Andrew Kaufman. It's his first year starting behind center for the Raiders. He took a 2-year break from football. So this is his first year playing high school football.
Stone with another carry right there. And it looks like he'll be just shy of the first down, so third down here. Just about inside 2 minutes before halftime. Connor Leascheit in on the tackle. He's another big part. Started last year, all year as a freshman. Big sophomore lineman. Got to think again with this program starting to turn the corner a little bit. Maybe not quite as competitive in some of these games, but heading in the right direction. Obviously proving that with a couple wins this season.
Oh, definitely. And I mean, for East Peoria, I mean, even they do have a tough rest of the season ahead. Teams like Pekin, Morton, Washington all still on the schedule, but getting 2 wins. It doesn't matter who you beat. Any win is a good win. And the Raiders got 2 of them against Aurora Central Catholic and a big one against Limestone as well. That ended their 21-game Mid-Illini Conference losing streak. So, lots of stuff to cheer about for East Peoria. I know it's not, really going their way, at least in the first half tonight. But Dustin Jefferson does have things going in the right direction for East Peoria. Certainly a team to watch out for in the future.
Certainly is a big run right there. This play is going to stop, though, with Nate Nesbitt down on the field, so they'll tend to him really quickly. That'd be a big loss if he can't come back out for this game. Looks like he's sitting up, though. Maybe got the wind knocked out of him, perhaps. He's going to hobble off the field a little bit, maybe a cramp. But a chilly night here in Dunlap. Again, a packed house for JFL night, and great atmosphere, of course, great facilities here at Dunlap High School, great hospitality. Can't thank Dunlap High School enough for bringing us out. We've been out here a few times, not me personally, but the Clutch Sports crew. Of course, Cody Roskins and John Camosa out here in week 4, or rather week 3, against Pekin, when Dunlap and Pekin did battle in the Mid-Illini Conference opener. Glad to be back here in week 5, and John, it's hard to believe we're already halfway through the high school football season.
It's crazy, Gavin. I mean, it feels like just maybe a week or two ago we were in Pekin doing week 1, get further game against Rock Island, and it really has flown by. But I'm really excited to see what the last part of the season is going to bring. A lot of things are going to come into view a lot more. Teams are going to start clinching playoff eligibility as early as this week. If Pekin, Mid-Illini team, if they can win tonight, they would clinch eligibility. 5 wins doesn't necessarily lock you in, but it gives you a very good chance. I definitely expect Pekin to rile up some more wins as well. What a year that the Dragons are having. In conversation, or top 10 in the state.
We'll talk plenty more about the Mid-Illini Conference nearing the end of the first half, and into the end zone. Drew Stone finds the end zone for 6. 6 more for Dunlap. And they carry yet another score into the halftime locker room. Again, just firing on all cylinders, and the bench just loving it.
Yeah, how about Stone getting his first touchdown of the year there? Braden Orr did his part. Now we're getting guys like Mitchell Gray, Drew Stone. The running back group for Dunlap is very deep, and even goes down to their sophomore and sophomore and freshman level as well. Lots of young talent on this Dunlap team that might get a good chance to shine tonight with how well that the varsity starters have played. 42-0 here in Dunlap, a outstanding performance for the Eagles. Only the really thing, Gavin, is the penalties, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, the penalties have still hurt them. East Peoria just not able to capitalize. Had some opportunities, just haven't quite gotten there. And you mentioned in the keys of the game, East Peoria needing to not fall behind. It's all about momentum for the Raiders. And again, more about how good Dunlap's been playing maybe versus how bad East Peoria's been playing. Young team, though, you come to expect some of these inconsistencies. Overall, it's been a tough half. But again, Dunlap proving just how good they can be, and should be putting the rest of the Mid-Illini Conference on notice with what presumes to look like two big weeks in a row, getting 2 wins. Let's take a look at the Uftring scoring drive in just one moment, as Dunlap just put up another touchdown. The Uftring scoring drive, 6 plays, 67 yards over 3 minutes and 50 seconds. That scoring drive sponsored by Uftring, muffed by the Upman, taken by Keemon Lee, and Lee will go down just short of the 35-yard line. 42 seconds. Wonder if the Raiders perhaps kneel down to finish things out here in the half. Maybe they'll take a shot. What do you do right here, John? I mean, again, not completely stacked against you right now, but maybe a chance to just kind of throw it down the field, see what happens?
Oh, definitely. I mean, I think, this is probably your best opportunity of the game to take a shot. I mean, 42 seconds left. I mean, obviously go for the shot, but, if you can't get an open receiver deep down the field, even just any, good play that maybe gets a first down, maybe moves you, near midfield, that can really open it up for another big play and put you in scoring position. So, even if East Peoria doesn't score, I think they'll just like to get, some positive plays, positive yardage, keep it clean, no flags, and they'll have maybe about three or so, maybe 4 plays to go. Have 1 timeout left as well.
No Nate Nesbitt on the field. Skylar Carr comes in. Here's Kaufman with some time. He'll step up and run, and he is pulled down by the horse collar, and he will be, that'll be a flag on the field. Again, more penalties, and again, Brett Caslett's got to be happy with a lot, but in future weeks, those penalties cannot happen.
Yeah, definitely, and, obviously a week 3 at Peak, and they had, quite a bit of them. And, you're still kind of getting warmed up to the season there. It's early in the season, you kind of make an excuse there. But, it's week 5 here, even though, yeah, you're up 42-0, if this, this trend continues into the playoffs, it could be an area of concern for Dunlap. Still some, weeks to get it all sorted out and everything. That one there on Pierce Morrison, the horse collar tackle. So that'll put East Peoria at about the 50-yard line or so. Clock is running, but they still have a chance to score.
Clock is running indeed. Kaufman not under center, rather in the shotgun. Nobody in the backfield. 3 receivers out. He's going to throw it to Ziegler Harris in the flat, and he'll stumble forward for a few more. He's going to be just short of a first down. That was a decent pickup, and we're going to get a stoppage of the clock. It's going to be a timeout for East Peoria. They'll use their final of the half, 11 seconds to go. And again, it's about taking some of those positives away. Had a nice little flat route there for Gabe Ziegler Harris and got a decent chunk of yardage.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was talking about. Just, getting those, good small gains that, come close to getting a first down. Nice crossing route there from Ziegler Harris, the East Peoria running back. Put up 419 yards combined on the ground in weeks 2 and 3 with 10 touchdowns. I mean, that's unbelievable. If they had fantasy high school football, I mean, I can't imagine how many points he'd be scoring, for the team there. He's been obviously limited for the most part by Dunlap tonight. Had some couple big plays as well, but he's getting done in the receiving game to go with it. Ziegler Harris, a great athlete, Gavin. Plays basketball, track and field, getting interest from colleges. Monmouth said that, hey, we'll let you play baseball and football, so see where he goes. He's got a bright future in front of him for sure.
Certainly does. He'll tell you, he can't do it by himself. It takes everybody on the field to help him out. Certainly that's the case. Here's Kaufman. He'll drop back to pass. Rushed by several Eagles. He's going to just take off and run with it. Clock near expiration, but he'll go out of bounds with 4.6 left. Maybe they'll try to dial up another Hail Mary. It looks like they were trying to do, but Dunlap simply just not letting their foot up off the gas pedal.
Yeah, not much deep down the field there. Nice job by the Dunlap safeties, Diego Logan and Graham Glover. Kaufman did have Ziegler Harris open by a little bit near the middle of the field, although I'm not sure if he would have been able to get out of bounds before the clock would have stopped. So, may have been a good decision there on Kaufman's part just to keep it, not force a tough pass. There was a Dunlap defender in the area. So they got one more chance here.
See what they set up like. Again, expecting some sort of Hail Mary here of some sort, but Ziegler Harris in the backfield. Line up Clark, Jaden Seeley, Briston Gore at the receiver positions. Ziegler Harris is going to move over. And a bit of a broken play here, a little miscommunication. And stoppage of play. It's going to be a delay of game. Just couldn't quite figure it out. Probably another theme of the half for East Peoria, just a miscommunication perhaps.
Yeah, and usually when East Peoria's had a nice play or they've taken advantage of a Dunlap penalty, it's been, followed shortly after by a penalty of their own or a sack or a, botched snap or a fumble or something of that regard. So, they gotta get momentum, which they have been able to do for, certain portions of this game, but the key is they have to keep it.
One tight end, 3 receivers. Kaufman drops back. Last play of the half. Breaks out of the pocket, throws over the middle, and nearly intercepted. Zeros hit the clock as Dunlap caps off a huge first half, 42-0. They will head into the locker room feeling good. Thoughts from the first half, John?
Yeah, I mean, it's just been all Dunlap. I mean, the scoreboard tells the story there, and again, like you said, I think it's really just a testament to how well Dunlap has been playing rather than, East Peoria playing bad, because they've had, some good plays, some, good drives that have looked promising and everything. It's just been Dunlap. I mean, they've been getting it done on the ground. Braden Orr with a couple of touchdowns. Graham Glover with a couple of touchdowns. Madden Burke looks phenomenal in his first game back after missing the game against Limestone with a concussion. The defense is doing everything they need to for Dunlap, so I think they can just take a nice breather here, get everything all set up, take a good rest, and just come back to do the same thing in the second half. They should be well on their way to their 3rd victory of the season.
We will take this time to remind you about our great sponsor every Friday night, State Farm agents in Peoria tonight. Jake Weston, 309-444-4441 is where you can call him out or visit him at jakewestoninsurance.com. How about our other great neighbors in the Peoria area? Jody Brown in Peoria, Zach Butler in Pekin. Give any of those agents a call for all your insurance need. And let's get another message here from Uptrade.
Score the upgrade you've always wanted during the Total Sales Blitz at every Upstream Auto Group dealer. New inventory is in stock at inbound, and we're taking custom orders every day. Plus, over 500 pre-owned, including fresh trades from our huge sale. UpstreamAutoGroup.com.
Thank you to Uftring and our local State Farm agents for their support of high school sports and Clutch Sports Media. Couldn't do it without them. How about our Big 12 game on Big Saturday at 1? Tomorrow, the Lions of Peoria High and the Rams of Manual will face off at the iconic Peoria Stadium. That's going to be an interesting matchup. Of course, Peoria High probably a favorite in that game, but you're not going to want to miss it. You're going to want to tune in for that one as well.
Yeah, super excited for that game, Gavin. I'll be on the call with Lateef Love at Peoria Stadium. It's going to be a high-powered offensive showing, I think, from both teams. We're really excited to see what the Lions and the Rams can bring. Definitely want to tune in on ClutchSportsIL.com, 1 p.m. tomorrow. Don't miss it. City's been talking about this one for a couple weeks. That's what head coach Dennis Bailey said of the Manual Rams. Again, it's going to be a great one. First chance we've seen Manual on Clutch Sports IL in quite some time, so really excited to see them. Definitely won't want to miss that.
Certainly will not. Manual and Peoria High at it tomorrow. Big Saturday. We're going to go to a halftime break. We'll be back in a few minutes. East Peoria and Dunlap. Dunlap up big, 42-0. We'll talk in a minute. Dunlap. We are here just with a couple minutes left to go before the second half gets underway. All Dunlap so far, 42-0. Let's give a quick shout out to our amazing Clutch Sports Media staff. On the controls, Josh Messenger doing a fantastic job tonight. Thank you very much, Josh. Our two cameras, two camera broadcasts. That's huge for us, John. Something we've definitely upgraded in the past couple of years, so awesome to see that. But it takes two camera operators, so we've had a couple of great guys. Ethan Carbone and Thatcher Zaleski doing a great job on camera for us tonight. Paco Alonso on social media and taking some pictures. You're not going to want to miss any of that on our social media platforms. And, of course, Lateef Love. He's helping us out here tonight as well, observing a little bit and helping out with some other things as well. Great to have a full crew, John.
Definitely. I mean, it's, we crowded booth here in Dunlap, about 7 guys in a pretty tight space, but always good to see crew doing amazing work tonight. And I wanted to take a look at around the area, look at some scores from around the Mid-Illini and beyond. One of the biggest scores I'm seeing right now, Gavin, this is frankly almost unbelievable. Macomb is leading Farmington 52-0 in the second quarter, at least according to Max Preps. How about that? The Bombers up 4-0, or rather 4-0 on the season. They'll look to stay undefeated. Normal West ahead of Richwoods 13-0. Eureka looking to stay undefeated. They're up 28-0 over Gibson City. Melvin Sibley. Tri-Valley winning big over Hayworth. IVC down 21-0 to Prairie Central, a very strong team in the Illini Prairie Conference. Pekin and Morton, our radio game over on 101.1 ESPN Peoria. Our guys John Camosa and Cody Schindler making an appearance for Clutch Sports Media, the Peoria Chiefs broadcaster, stepping in tonight. Pekin and Morton tied at 7 in the third quarter. And Metamora up 34-14 over Canton. That's a revenge game for the Redbirds, who lost to the Little Giants last year. So Redbirds looking good as well. Washington winning big over Limestone at 42-0 at halftime.
Great scores around the area. That is shocking. Macomb, the Bombers, dropping a bomb on the Farmers tonight. It's been a big one. But let's get a look at our sponsors again for this week. Our great sponsors, State Farm, Jake Weston in Washington. Give him a call, 309-444-4441. Easy enough to remember. Or you can go to his website, jakewestoninsurance.com. How about our other great neighbors in the Peoria area? Good neighbors, rather. Jody Brown in Peoria, Zach Butler in Pekin. No matter where you are and you need some insurance, go ahead and give them a call or check out their websites. We appreciate all of their support this season. Few minutes left to go. Team's still going to get a little stretching underway. John, I got to ask, one of the things we were discussing prior to the game was the pork chop. And, of course, around high school football in Illinois, it's more than just about the football. It's about the atmosphere and, most importantly, the food. And the pork chop is a big staple of many schools in the area, many claiming the fame with their pork chop. I got to ask, how is the Dunlap pork chop?
I was pretty impressed with it, Gavin. I mean, I took a bite of it, as if some of our viewers may have seen, at the end of our open, as he was sitting there, I couldn't resist taking a bite of it. It was a nice warm pork chop, just waiting to be eaten. That first bite was amazing. Didn't really have any time to sink my teeth in it during the first half, but I was able to finish it up here a couple minutes ago. Overall, really good pork chop. I was very satisfied with it. So Dunlap, high regards. I'd rate it probably a good, 9.5 out of 10. Maybe if I could, have some Sweet Baby Ray's. Oh, that would be beautiful. I'm a big fan of barbecue sauce. Big fan of the pork chop here at Dunlap. Again, all of the schools around Illinois, Gavin, compete to see who has the best pork chop, and lots of judges go around different schools, tried all the pork chops. I don't know really what kind of criteria they use. I'd be really interested to see what that is. I know Aro and Joey right here at Clutch Sports Media said he wanted to be a judge for that, and that would be pretty nice if he could get that. I haven't heard any update. I don't think he is going to be a judge this year, but a lot of schools competing in the area. Dunlap, very good one. Excited to see where we'll be next week and try out their pork chop as well.
Got a couple other ratings from our Clutch Sports Media staff who were also able to taste the pork chop. I did not myself have a pork chop, so I can't really weigh in on this. I think Ethan Carbone, running camera tonight, he gave it an 8 out of 10. Not really much of an explanation, but that's a pretty good pork chop. going to give it a 6 from Paco Alonso, but not super impressed. Although 6 is a decent rating. Maybe we should try some popcorn next week. Do a little Adam Duvall-esque. Rate some popcorn. There's plenty of good food to go around. I'd say at the end of the day, a decent pork chop. Taking a look at the student section over in Dunlap. They're still pretty fired up, although it's cleared out again. Maybe hitting the concession locker room, concession stand. Grabbing a couple of pork chops.
Gavin, I just saw a sign down there by the student section. And it's one that says, "Hey, Clutch Sports, what's the prediction this week?" You don't know what's going on. Our Cody Roskins picked Limestone to upset the Dunlap Eagles or keep it within a score last week. Of course, the Eagles won 41-0. But Gavin, I heard a lot of students at Dunlap, a lot of players on the team. They didn't take that very lightly. A couple of them, a little upset, but they provided them good motivation, I guess. They came out real well against Limestone last week.
They should be thanking Cody Roskins for lighting a fire under them. Whatever he said was able to light a fire. And again, if you aren't aware, that's from the CSM podcast, as the Raiders kick off things to start the second half. Cody Roskins, myself, you, and we've had several guests so far on the CSM podcast. You can catch that dropping every Wednesday. But Cody Roskins, not a favorable prediction. Since then, the Eagles have allowed 0 points, have scored 83, I believe.
Good math.
Up to this point. They have a whole half left to play. So, again, maybe thank Cody Roskins if you're a Dunlap fan.
Definitely. I know a lot of people weren't too happy with him, but, man, like you said, that may have been what they needed. He later on told me that, he kind of thought, Dunlap would eventually pull it out, but, he wanted to make a bold prediction. He was undefeated for the year. Didn't want to go 3-0 on us.
And there's a big play right there. Still on his feet, and he'll be tackled down there finally. Johnny Bargan took a hit but got the pass off. Ryan Dietz on the reception, and boy, the air attack has been soaring for the Eagles.
Yeah, Ryan Dietz, a big play threat at wide receiver for Dunlap, reeled in a big ball in the first half to set up one of Dunlap's 6 touchdowns. Dietz named to keep an eye on. And when you have 3 wide receivers like Dietz and Graham Glover and Gabe Munoz, along with a great running back in Braden Orr and a competent quarterback in Madden Berg who can really throw the football, he has great arm strength as well, great mobility. It's really just a full package. When this Dunlap team is firing all cylinders, they are probably one of the best, if not the best, in the Mid-Illini.
Certainly are, and they are moving ferociously down the field. Mitchell Gray in on the carry. Do we have a flag here, perhaps? Refs are going to get together. Personal foul. That's going to be a face mask on East Peoria. East Peoria looking like they're working in a few of their backups as well. And we've talked about it, hit on it a couple of times. It's all about the youth for East Peoria. One of the craziest things is how low their numbers dropped in their program back in that spring COVID season, down to about 30 players in the entire program. That's varsity all the way down to the freshman teams and whatnot, up to about 60 now. So they've come a long way. It's just gonna take a while to really get them back to where they want to be at.
Oh, definitely. I mean, they said Rome wasn't built in a day. Obviously, you're not going to completely turn it around in a year. As Dunlap will get on the board again, as Mitchell Gray, the senior, again, gets some good work. And he gets his 2nd touchdown of the game. Dunlap goes up 48-0 now.
And it is an absolute rout at the moment. Mitchell Gray getting in for a score. Drew Stone getting in for a score. They will kick the extra point. Attempt the extra point here. Haven't missed one tonight. Try to get him to jump, maybe there. Kick is up, and it is good. Perfect on PATs tonight for the Dunlap Eagles, and they go up 49-0. Even the backups getting in on some of the action. go to our Uftring scoring drive. The Eagles with another big play in the air. Ryan D. Tolan in a big pass, leading to a touchdown. 3 plays, 70 yards, 2 minutes and 56 seconds. That scoring drive sponsored by Uftring.
Gavin, I expect to see a lot of Mitchell Gray, the Dunlap senior running back, in the game here in the second half. I mean, Braden Orrs, a senior, gets a lion's share of the carries. Gray, a senior as well, getting a big chance here to kind of show off his skill set. He's really impressed so far tonight. Drew Stone had a couple good carries as well. A couple other guys like Kendall Netters, we may see maybe a little bit of Joe Weeks, a sophomore as well. This Dunlap team, Gavin, they're very strong at each level. I was talking to head coach Brett Caslet. They play perhaps some of the most underclassmen on varsity in the entire conference. A lot of their freshmen and sophomores are high-quality players as well.
They sure are, and again, Dunlap turns out great teams, great athletes year in and year out, and that's many expected them to be a Mid-Illini Conference contender. They are playing like that right now, and again, they dropped the opening conference game to Pekin. Of course, Pekin, another big powerhouse. It was a close game, though. Dunlap, a few self-inflicted wounds, but again, they have lit a fire under themselves, and they have been playing out of their minds in the last 2 weeks. Lots of momentum. They're going to hand it off to Ziegler Harris. Works to the outside, brought down after perhaps a gain of 1. Be nice to see him maybe get a couple of big chunk plays. Nothing else, he's an incredible senior. As we mentioned, he'll be at the next level for one or more, maybe more sports. But again, he'd like to have some success week in and week out.
Definitely, and Ziegler Harris, again, for those just tuning in, if you haven't heard already, haven't been looking at the Peoria Journal-Star or keeping up with the latest on high school sports, Ziegler Harris rushed for over 400 yards combined in weeks 2 and 3. Both of those were East Peoria wins. 5 touchdowns in each of those contests against Aurora Central Catholic and Limestone, respectively. So, Ziegler Harris, one of the best backs in the area. Definitely up there. Just a great all-around athlete. You don't see a lot of running backs of his caliber that that also play baseball and also run track, and and are also very good at those sports as well. Because like you said, Monmouth College, they're calling up Ziegler Harris saying, "Hey, we'll let you play baseball and football." Lots of good things to look forward to for GZH, as they affectionately call him.
Incomplete there on third down, looking for Tommy Flowers, the senior tight end. Rain starts to fall here. As you mentioned, we could expect to see some rain later on in the game. Not necessarily favorable conditions, so East Peoria trying to air it out there, but perhaps they look to maybe keep it on the ground for some ball control. It's going to be Gabe Ziegler Harris to punt here. And a few of the fans are going to maybe up and take off or head for some shelter. Again, as the rain starts to fall, hopefully our guys up on the roof with the cameras are trying to stay nice and dry if possible. This ball will roll up just about to the 50 and plus territory, though, for Dunlap. They'll take over again.
Oh, I think these fans are, getting their umbrellas. For the ones that are leaving, they can just go home and tune in on Clutch Sports IL. From the comforts of your own home, maybe, break out the fireplace. Fall is here, ladies and gentlemen. I believe the first day of fall was yesterday, I want to say. Not quite sure yet, but definitely a crisp night here in Dunlap. Nothing says fall more than high school football. And then you got college football tomorrow. Also, you got Manual and Peoria tomorrow here on Clutch Sports IL.
Big Saturday on CSM.
CSM big 1 p.m. kickoff, rather than the Fox big noon kickoff, but close enough. It's going to be a great game between the Manual Rams and the Peoria High Lions. Hope you all tune in tomorrow afternoon.
Those are two fun squads as well. Been able to talk with both of those coaches, Tim Thornton and Dennis Bailey, both great coaches, great leaders of their programs. Manual, much like East Peoria, has showed some signs of resurgence, but maybe not quite to that end goal yet, but have some good young players to back on, definitely some good seniors at the moment. Again, they would look to try to sneak one out against a state-ranked Peoria High squad. They're a team that, boy, I would very expect to see deep into the state playoffs this year, so get a taste of the Lions in Week 5 tomorrow on CSM. Johnny Bargan still under center, the freshman QB. A lot of talent there for him. He's going to hand it to Gray, though, and he'll pick up a first down. And Johnny Bargan is the son of Bradley men's basketball assistant coach Mike Bargan. So definitely some athletic ties in the family there. But he's definitely writing his own story here in Dunlap.
Yeah, Peorians might know, Mike Bargan is the assistant to Brian Wardle in the Bradley Braves, but Bargan was a great athlete in himself. He played basketball at Marquette with Wardle, and when Wardle got into coaching in men's college basketball, he brought on his former teammate Bargan, and Johnny has done a great job. And Bargan isn't even the only quarterback for Dunlap in their system with some great pedigree. We also have freshman quarterback Max Sutter, who already stands about 6'4", 6'5". I saw him play here at the freshman game, or the JV game, I should say, on Monday against Limestone, Gavin. And Max Sutter, his father was Eddie Sutter, who spent a couple years in the NFL. So, again, great pedigree there. Even though Dunlap only has 3 quarterbacks in their entire program, they really make him count because Bargan, Sutter, and Madden Burke, the starter tonight, can all get it done. So Dunlap, always a strong passing team. See the wings on their helmet. They do like to fly.
They certainly do like to fly, John. They've got a couple of great young up-and-comers that we'll look at for years to come. As well as on the defensive line, a couple of freshmen, some sophomores. Hands it to Gray here. He's going to try to move up the field, but it's going to be Briston Gore. You saw him get run over a couple times. Makes a good tackle there, so a little redemption for the junior Briston Gore.
Yeah, heck of a tackle there from Briston Gore. Really brave effort there, just going right at the Dunlap running back there. I didn't get a chance to see that. Was that Gray? I believe it was.
I do believe it was Gray, but that tackle, of course, is big, but the play is going to go backwards on a flag for Dunlap on a hold. Mitchell Gray will come out of the game. Rain starting to fall a little harder now, and still plenty of fans braving the elements. Maybe a few that have went home to tune in on ClutchSportsIsle.com. Umbrellas out. Johnny Bargan in the shotgun. He'll hand it off here. Running up the middle, breaking tackles left and right. It's going to be Joe Weeks. Weeks, the sophomore, getting some touches as well.
Yeah, Weeks, the sophomore running back, I saw a lot of at the JV game as well, and he is a bowling ball of a running back. When Braden Orr and Mitchell Gray graduate after this year, they're going to be in good hands with Joe Weeks. Drew Stone, also a senior as well. So this backfield may very well be Weeks's in 2023, along Kendall Netter as a sophomore, who's gotten some good carries for the Dunlap varsity squad. But I was really impressed with Joe Weeks. Really a name to keep an eye on in the years to come.
Certainly will be. Here's Weeks again. He's going to be swallowed up there early on, and he'll get a gain of a couple. He'll bring down 4th down. Tommy Flowers on the stop. East Peoria, 12 seniors on the roster. They've had a couple of unfortunate injuries that have knocked a few players out for the season. They do have plenty of youth, though, John, that's getting some good experience this year. They'll be back. Here's the punt. First punt of the game. It's going to be fielded by Ziegler Harris, and he'll let it roll into the end zone very smartly. He can be a big special teams player. I think Ziegler Harris definitely is kind of the total package. If you're a college team, specifically for football, of course, he can play other sports, but specifically for football, his ability to get in on the defensive side, the offensive side, or on the special team side of things makes him a very valuable piece for a team to look at.
Oh, definitely. And, Ziegler Harris, we haven't called his name a ton on defense side, but he has been involved on a lot of tackles tonight. So, again, just very versatile, very athletic player. He was a guest on our In the Clutch podcast a couple weeks ago. Great guy as well. Had really lots of fun talking to Gabriel. Definitely a special player for these Peoria Raiders because players like him don't come around very often, Gavin.
They certainly don't. He's obviously gone through a tough time with the Raiders over the past few years. He's going to take a direct snap, run the ball, and get some positive yardage right there. He's Again, had a tough time, picked up his first ever win and wins at the varsity level. That'll end the third quarter. Let's get a quick message from Uftre.
In stock 22s, inbound 23s, fresh trade-ins. Score the upgrade you've always wanted during the total sales blitz at every Ufting Auto Group dealer. Bring us your trade because we're going deep to buy all makes and models. UftingAutoGroup.com.
Also sponsored tonight by State Farm, your local agents in the Peoria area. Jake Weston in Washington. You can give him a call at 309-444-4441 or visit Jake Weston State Farm, or JakeWestonInsurance.com rather. Botched that a little bit, but also find your other good neighbors in the Peoria area. Zach Butler in Pekin, Jody Brown in Peoria. Make sure to give them a call. Great local supporters of high school athletics, great insurance agents in the Peoria area. Let's take a look at the Mid-Illini Conference upcoming schedules for these teams. East Peoria on a home docket next week with Washington on homecoming. Then they get Morton, Metamora, and Pekin, a brutal stretch to end their season. Dunlap, a game at Canton, so they'll need to carry a little momentum to face the Little Giants. They have Washington, Morton, and Metamora left on their schedule as well, so two tough schedules left to go on the year for both of these squads. Third down and short for EP. Go back to Dunlap's schedule here. As I mentioned, they've got Canton next week, Washington the week to follow. Morton and Metamora finish things out. Not an easy schedule for either of these teams late in the year.
No, definitely not. And, for Dunlap, I'm really looking forward to those last three contests against Washington, Morton, and Metamora. Every time that the Eagles and those three teams square off, it's always a close contest. And, obviously, all those teams have, potential to reach the playoffs again, as has been the tradition for a lot of those teams lately, especially Morton. How about them this year? A lot of people talk about Pekin and how they're, the kind of, maybe not the runaway favorites, but they've shown some weakness and everything. But they've had a couple great games this year as well. Certainly one of the best in Mid-Illini. But Morton, even after losing Seth Gladys last year, going to the state semifinals, they really have not missed a beat here in 2022. Carl Whitaker and Brett Michael doing a great job replacing Gladys in the Potters backfield. So Morton, really a strong-looking team as well. Metamora looking good tonight. They're in line to go to 3-2. Washington winning big over Limestone currently. So, like I said, in kind of week 5, things come more into view. It sounds kind of cliched, but this is the week where we really start to, you're at the middle of the season. You know where you're at. You know where you need to get better on, but you know what you're doing well. And you got 4 more games gearing up for the stretch run before the playoffs start.
Could say we separate the men from the boys this week. Definitely could separate out the top and the bottom halves of the conference with some wins and losses this week. Dunlap looking to move into that top half of the conference again, up 49-0. Flag on East Peoria as it'll be moving backwards. Talked so much, though, about this Mid-Illini Conference. I think, of course, Pekin being state-ranked in 7A, which is a whole different animal. We could talk about that all night. But maybe there's not one team in the Mid-Illini, Washington, Metamora, Dunlap, Morton, whatever. Maybe they're not the state-ranked powerhouses that you see from them sometimes, but they're a team that can surprise anybody. They can absolutely come out and make some things happen in the postseason, and they certainly look to get there.
Yeah, definitely there, Gavin, as Ziegler Harris gets another carry out perimeter, 4th down and short. Definitely expect East Peoria to go for it here. Don't really see why you wouldn't.
Might as well. Ziegler Harris has been taking all the snaps at this point, so add it to the list of positions that he can play, apparently. Quarterback, wide receiver, running back, kicker, punter.
Linebacker, cornerback. I think he might have played, he might have the IHSA record for most positions played in a game this year, or at least play throughout the whole season.
I'm not sure Dustin Jefferson would venture to do this, but maybe put him on the offensive line. And that one's swallowed up there on 4th down, and just frustrating night for East Peoria. Couldn't really manage to get into anything, and very little momentum. Let's take another look at our sponsors for tonight's game. Jake Weston in Washington, State Farm agent. Make sure to give him a call at 309-444-4441 or visit jakewestoninsurance.com for all your insurance need. How about our other great State Farm agents in the Peoria area? Jody Brown in Peoria, Zach Butler in Pekin. I couldn't think of it. My mind went blank. I wanted to say Morton. I wanted to say Washington. I was all over the place there.
They all end in ends.
They do. Visit any of those great agents. We do appreciate their support of high school athletics. Dunlap takes back over. Running clock, under 8 minutes left to go here. Definitely plenty of positives to take away for the Eagles tonight.
Two backs in the backfield, Gavin. Haven't seen a ton of that from Dunlap tonight. A lot of, three wide in the tight end formations, or four wide receivers. Seen a lot of those sets as well. But at this point in the game, rain's coming down. Probably not going to throw the ball too much. Probably going to keep it on the ground a lot with Mitchell Gray and Joe Weeks, and maybe a little bit of Drew Stone as well.
Certainly will. Have plenty of options, and of course a chance for Brett Caslett's group to maybe get some different looks out here. Got to still execute. Got to find ways to make some things happen. Got a false start right there, so penalties certainly going to continue to be a big emphasis in practice, I would assume, for Brett Caslett's group.
Looks like Max Sutter's in the game at quarterback now, Gavin, so the third QB for Dunlap tonight.
And this one is swallowed up quickly by the East Peoria defensive line. East Peoria getting some of their younger talent in there. Getting a lot of freshmen and sophomore. You'd almost think it was the JV team playing, but just the nature of where this program is headed, a lot of younger players coming out. Kind of got to build from the ground up, create a strong foundation. Dustin Jefferson's accomplishing that. Maybe not the immediate results everybody's hoping for, but again, you can start to see that foundation being laid.
Oh, definitely. And I think, even if you have 2 wins, that's still a big improvement from where this East Peoria team was for multiple years. I mean, they really struggled. Obviously, COVID hit them hard, and obviously with low turnout, but they've doubled the amount of players in their program, which is really great to see. I mean, it's a program that's on the upswing, and obviously getting these wins, that's gonna make these players want to come out again next year after tasting a little bit of success. They're gonna be hungry for more. They're gonna be a lot of a couple spots opening up for starters. Obviously, there's gonna be no Gabe Ziegler-Harris next year, so who's gonna step up and do that? Who's gonna do the work in the off season and kind of help carry this East Peoria Raider team? I think there's definitely a lot of good options for them.
They certainly do have a lot of options, John, and I think one of the things is they just got to start to kind of find guys that want to get out there, want to do their best, want to stay committed to this team. A lot of multi-sport athletes, but got to find guys that want to compete. Here's a big run for Mitchell Gray. He's already seen several carries tonight for some big runs. It's going to put him up just near a first down. Dunlap, of course, a very bright future as well. But East Peoria, and one thing Brett Caslett was talking about when you interviewed him earlier this week was it's good to see East Peoria making some strides because it's overall, it's good for the conference.
Oh, definitely.
Of course, he wanted to come out and get a big win tonight like they're on their way to doing. But it's good for the conference when you've got everybody being competitive.
Oh, definitely. And, there's Midland is consistently year in, year out one of the best or most competitive conferences in the whole state of Illinois. I mean, it's so hard to pick a favorite. You got a lot of good teams in there that could always, sneak up, make a deep run in state, just like the Morton Potters did last year. And even you look at teams like even Canton or like even Limestone as well. Canton has a lot of talent on that team. They put up a big win against East Peoria last week, 41-0. A lot of guys to watch on that team, like Malachi Correa and Cale Barnhart. They have a lot of talent. So haven't seen the Little Giants in person yet this year, but I think it would be lots of fun. And Limestone as well. They have a lot of good offensive weapons as well. So even though they're 0-4, they're still making strides in their program as well.
Certainly are. New head coach for Limestone this year, so again, they have some new talent to work with, new coaching staff to work with. Get a lot of changing things in the Mid-Illini Conference. Handoff can't be brought down. The whole tribe of Raiders comes in but can't bring them down.
No Weeks on the carry.
Weeks, as you mentioned, he's a tank of a running back, but goodness gracious, he is certainly proving that tonight.
Yeah, Weeks, another big run there, real physical back in the Dunlap backfield as we get under 3 minutes to go here at Dunlap's home stadium. Glad you guys spent your evening with us here on ClutchSportsIL.com. Again, want to remind our viewers that tomorrow will be at Peoria Stadium, 1 p.m. for the Manual Rams and the Peoria High Lions.
Takes the handoff, gives it back to Weeks. He'll get a few more yards there. Got to give a special shout out though to a East Peoria Raider who just came onto the field. That's Gabe Hackney, and got to give a lot of credit to another player. You know, Gabe doesn't get into the game a whole lot. Obviously, first time seeing him tonight. Incredibly dedicated to this program though, and started playing his sophomore year, I believe it was, and just heart and soul of this team. Everybody rallies around Gabe Hackney, so got to give a big shout out to him. Nice to see him get a little playing time here tonight.
Definitely, and obviously, what you see on the scoreboard is not what East Peoria would have wanted to have, but it's always good when you can reward those guys that have given so much to your team over a number of years, especially Hackney, who's been with the program for some time. Obviously, effort does not go unnoticed, and he's certainly earning his time. Hopefully, he can make a good play here. Time's winding down, though.
Time is winding down. 1:30 left to go, and second half definitely flew by with the running clock, John. Heading into next week, though, we're not quite sure where we'll be at for our Week 6 games, so we don't have anything finalized with that. But what's on your radar? Who are you looking out for? I mean, what are you looking for in Week 6?
Oh, definitely. I mean, obviously, there's going to be a couple, good Mid-Illini games next week. A couple good small school games as well. Definitely, if anybody is tuning in, either from Eureka or any of those other HOI schools, we're definitely looking at doing some of those games. Eureka is looking really strong this year. I know Ridgeview Lexington comes to town for them in Week 7. I know Peoria High and Normal West, another game that's really on our radar for Week 8. Obviously, stay tuned to our social media channels for schedule announcements, but maybe some really great games to end the season in all of the conferences, not just the Mid-Illini, but the Big 12 and the Heart of Illinois Conference as well.
We're going to have plenty of content on ClutchSportsIL.com. That's going to just about do it. Victory formation for the Dunlap Eagles. What a great way to finish things out here tonight. A big win for the Eagles. Clock will wind down the final 15 seconds.
Thank you for supporting Dunlap High School football and have a safe trip home.
Just what a complete effort from the Dunlap Eagles tonight. 42 points in the first half, 3 touchdowns from running back Braden Orr, 2 from Graham Glover, from Madden Burke. And then Mitchell Gray also getting a touchdown as well. So did Drew Stone. Just a real team effort from the Eagles. Lockdown defense all night long. Really tough for East Peoria to even get a first down. Brett Casle's group showed their discipline tonight. Really just locked down. They're doing backflips on the field. How about, I thought that was Dietz at first, but anyway, there was a Dunlap Eagle who did a couple backflips on the field. After this performance tonight, I'd definitely be doing the same. That was Nick Mueller. How about the gymnastics there from the Dunlap linebacker? But overall, great showing from Dunlap. East Peoria, obviously not the result that you wanted, but this team is moving in the right direction. Don't get it twisted, folks. Justin Jefferson doing the right thing over with the Raiders. They'll be back. They're hungry for more. Lots to look forward to in the future.
Dustin Jefferson definitely leading them in the right direction. It's been a tough go of things, but let's get one more look at our sponsors for the week. Jake Weston in Washington, your local State Farm agent and good neighbor. Make sure to give Jake Weston a call for all your insurance need. Call the number on the screen or visit his website at jakewestoninsurance.com. Also our other good neighbors in the area, Jody Brown in Peoria, Zach Butler in Pekin. You can make sure to give them a call as well. Definitely all sorts of good State Farm agents to go to. And how about CSM big 1 p.m. kickoff tomorrow? Manual at Peoria High, but all Peoria Stadium, so I guess a neutral game for both. Definitely a big game you're not going to want to miss on ClutchSportsIL.com.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, gave me a lot of offensive fireworks in that game. You know, Tino Gist, Malachi Washington for Peoria High. Washington, one of the most impressive backs in the year. Really looking forward to seeing him. And on Manuel's side, you know, they have London Tolliver and Marquise Woodson as well. Gonna be a great game. Want to take one more chance to thank our sponsors from Uftree.
In stock 22s, inbound 23s, fresh trade-ins. Score the upgrade you've always wanted during the total sales blitz at every Uftree Auto Group dealer. New inventory is in stock and inbound, and we're taking custom orders every day. UftreeAutoGroup.com.
That'll about wrap things up here in Dunlap. Eagles, big winners, 49-0. Let's give a great shout out to our great crew out here with Clutch Sports Media. Josh Messenger doing a fantastic job producing tonight. Our cameraman switching in and out a little bit. We had Latif Love here in the second half. Ethan Carbone all 4 quarters doing a nice job. Paco Alonso on social media, so keep an eye out for some of the things he'll be throwing up in the next few hours into tomorrow. And, of course, Thatcher Zaleski doing some camera in the first half, getting in the booth with us in the second half. Appreciate everybody for coming out. We appreciate our sponsors, Uftree, Jake Weston State Farm, and, of course, you, the viewers, for getting in and watching the broadcast. That'll about do it here from Dunlap. For my partner, Jonathan Michael, I'm Gavin Russell. Don't miss us tomorrow. CSM Big 1 p.m. Saturday, Manual and Peoria High. That'll do things for tonight. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.